What's up, ladies and gentlemen? The one and only James Williams, Dark Waters, the Stank-Only Ambassador, and I'm back. And, ladies and gentlemen, I want to say something to you. And I need you to listen to me good. You see, the Stank-Only ain't retarded. No, sir. I'm not crazy. I want you to see something here. And I want you to understand something. So, when they decided they were going to do a book about Skinwalker Ranch, if you haven't seen my video about Skinwalker Ranch and how it's clearly black budget funded, and somebody was like, there was funding before the black budget funding. No, there was not funding before the black budget funding. It has always been black budget funding. It's just that when it got popular, they decided to disclose it to where they didn't have to hide the fact that there was black budget. It was privately funded. You privately crazy and privately dumb. You think for one moment that the government of the United States, the most powerful government on the planet, at one point in time, did not know what was going on there and had not been participating with what was going on there? You crazy. You are absolutely insane. It's just they rolled it out. But with that pretext and pretense in mind, Shorty comes out and she talking about the mask. I did a video where she was talking before, but you had to ask yourself a question. Hold on, man. If you CIA or ex-CIA, which I believe she was, how come you could talk about the mask now? And what does it mean for the technology that she can come out and talk about it and then bringing it to the public side? What do they really, really have, homie? Because see, everybody want to go down the rabbit hole that they lead you down. That's why I am the ambassador. I go down the rabbit holes that make sense. Because see, they have a hole and you jump in it and you be like, oh, I'm going in the right direction. No, they got a little cliff that you got to go through, a cave, and then you go in there. They got technology in the cave and they got lights in there. You just falling down this black hole thinking you know something. You don't know nothing. You don't know nothing. Listen to her. Listen to what she got to say. Listen.
I was chief of disguise.
What all did that entail?
The office I worked in was like the Q in James Bond. We were the Q for the CIA and the intelligence community.
The Q.
So there were different parts of it. Whatever you needed, if you needed a bug, if you needed secret writing or a microdot or a concealment device.
So, you like how she painted a clear picture for you? We were the Q, like in James Bond. Such a fantastical story and picture she's painting. Let's pay attention to her body language.
Or whatever you needed, you had to come to us and we'll put something together for you.
What's the most memorable moment from being in disguise for you?
There were a number of them, but one that has to stand out. I went to the White House.
She ain't lying. Look at them eyes. She ain't lying. Look at them eyes.
Mm-hmm. And I briefed George H.W. Bush, the president at the time, while I was wearing a full face mask. So we're sitting like this close together. And
now pause right here. When was George H.W. Bush president? Can anybody put in the comments when George H.W. Bush was president? Wasn't that like 2000, 2002, 2003, 2004? When was George H.W. president? Maybe it was 1997, 1998. When was George H.W. president? This is a very important question. I'm just throwing years out there to get the juices churning because I know you guys know. You know the funniest thing, and when I do this to provoke comments and give something wrong, people are like, oh, you stupid, you gave the wrong date. No, you did exactly what I wanted you to do. So, when was he president? And now that dates the technology that she's talking about. So, like I told you, you go down a rabbit hole. You figure out a time period. So we talking about when George H.W. was president. Not the one that Kanye was like, George Bush don't like black people. Not that one. His daddy. Not the one that was like, fool me once, you won't fool me again. Not the one that they were throwing shoes at in Iraq. We talking about the other George Bush.
And I'm telling him that I'm going to show him the best disguise that we have. And he's looking for a bag, like, where is it? I said, well, I'm wearing it, and I'm going to take it off. And I reached to start taking it off, and he said, stop. And he got up, and he walked, and he looked, and he looked at it. He didn't know it was a mask. He wasn't sure what I was wearing. He sat back down. He said, okay. So I took it off, and I was holding it up in the air so he could see it. My whole head. It had hair and a face and a neck.
So you could walk around as someone else.
Absolutely.
And that would be the disguise.
Absolutely.
Oh my goodness, you could walk around as someone else, and that would be the disguise. This is when George H.W. Bush was president. What in the hell can they do now? This is how far behind the disclosure is. And I submit to you, ladies and gentlemen, that each and everything that's being disclosed is either this far behind or further, meaning they're disclosing stuff from 20, 30 years ago or further back, which is very, very significant. It's important for you to understand what you're seeing now is nowhere near equivalent to what they can actually do. And somebody may, well, who is they? Who is they? She just told you she worked for the CIA. She just said, tell them again. Tell them again, girl. Because everybody like to stank on you.
What all did that entail?
I was chief of disguise.
What all did that entail?
The office I worked in was like the Q in James Bond. We were the Q for the CIA.
Okay, so she says we were the Q for the CIA. So now that we've established who they are, she used the term we. We were the Q for the CIA. They, them were the Q for the CIA. It's crazy. Now, with that being said, we're going to spin it a different direction. How many of you guys had an opportunity to see that elder abuse last night on television? That was total and utter elder abuse. And I'll say this. I don't like the fact that that gentleman is president. I don't like it at all. But I don't like what I saw happen to him last night either. And quite frankly, he probably deserves what happened to him. I mean, he probably does. I mean, everything he's done, everything he said, from they were having talk about him taking showers with his dogs and his dogs trying to bite him in the shower. I don't know why the dog will try and bite you in the shower unless you were doing something to the dog. The disclosure about him and his daughter, his son being a crackhead. I mean, he deserves to utterly fall and be embarrassed publicly. I mean, him instituting, he deserves it. But at the same time, the country doesn't deserve what we saw. We don't. Yeah, I'm sorry, but we don't deserve what we saw. At all. Our country deserves better than that. We deserve better than a confused, incoherent man.
The ability of Medicare for us to be able to negotiate drug prices with the big pharma companies. Well, guess what? We got it down to $35 for insulin instead of $400. No more than $2,000 for every senior, no matter how much prescription they need. You know what that did? That reduced the.
I couldn't watch the whole thing. I really couldn't. I couldn't watch the whole thing because I was like, man, this is retarded. I mean, it's crazy that we find ourselves in this situation. I mean, and as you see the media roll out the next day, this is the thing that gets me. The media knew this about him since he was in a basement campaigning. They knew this about this man since then. And if you look at his eyes, man, look at them pupils. That boy is high on every drug there is. So they pumped him up with everything they could pump him up with. And it still didn't work. And see, the media knew it. So now they're going to spin and it's like, oh, it's sad. No. This y'all fault. This y'all fault because y'all been gaslighting and lying to the American people. Not lying to me and you, because we know what the deal is. We pay attention. But to them other people, that was a horrific night for people. They had to come to the reality that, hold on, man, this is what we voted for. I mean, it really is. You have to come to the realization, yo, this is what we voted for. I'm a bumbling idiot. This represents me. You can't hide it. But the real question is, if you're going to go down the rabbit hole, the real question is, if this is the state of the Presidente, El Presidente, who in the hell is running the country? Who in the hell is making all these decisions to put bombs, nuclear bombs, all around Russia? Who in the hell is making all these decisions to leave the border wide open? Because he ain't making that decision. I can tell you that now. He ain't making it. He barely know where he is. So somebody has got their hand in the puppet. Yeah, and whoever got their hand in that puppet is the problem, is the enemy of America. That's the enemy of America. And how many of y'all want to take a guess who I think that hand is that's up his behind? You put in the comments who you think the hand is. I can tell you who I think it is. I'll tell you who I think it is. I'm going to tell you at the end of the video who I think it is. But you got to understand, man, it really is elder abuse. It really is. I mean, it's a horrific thing. And that man did not have a chance whatsoever. And they knew he didn't have a chance. But pride will make you keep going down this path when you know you've lost. Pride will do that to you. And so right down that path, they kept pushing. So the issue that you face now is, honestly, I'm concerned about his safety, and I really don't care about his safety. But the only thing you can do left with a puppet like that is pow. You gotta take advantage of it. You done manipulated and used the man every other way possible. You gotta realize that he expendable at this point in time to somebody. Because somebody know if they don't get in power, they finna get dog walked. And they deserve to get dog walked. They deserve to get dog walked all up and down the street for the things that they've done to this nation. For each and every little kid that's got molested or killed or murdered over the past 48 hours, the ones we know about. Every day, police officers shot from somebody from across the border. The last guy said, oh, well, that's how we deal with the police in our country. Oh, really? So you just murdered the police? Oh, really? That's just how y'all do it. And on another forefront, let us talk about old Billy Gates. Ladies and gentlemen, I want you to know something. If you go into the store and you go to buy some fruit and it has a peel on it, A-P-E-E-L, bro, don't you dare touch that. You better leave it alone. It's Bill Gates coating on fruit. Now, we touched on this a while ago. I would say, I don't know, maybe a week ago, we touched on the fact that he did it. But now it's even more out in the news for you to see. And I want you to hear about it and see about it. It's important that you know these things so you will not be feeding your children or yourself toxic, basically death wax, zombie death wax that your body won't be able to digest. And there's no telling what the hell is in it. The thing that stands out to me as it pertains to Mr. Gates, more than anything, is that, like, they should assign someone to monitor this man. Like, for real. Somebody should be watching everything he does. And he needs to go to prison. And I'm going to keep on saying that he needs to go to prison over and over and over again.
PSA for anyone going to the grocery store. Yes, even natural health food stores. Next time you're in the produce aisle, please be on the lookout for this label. And whatever you do, do not go near it. Appeal, or Edappeal, is a World Economic Forum and Bill Gates funded product that is being sprayed on fruits and vegetables which are on the verge of spoiling so that they appear fresh and last longer. Even more frightening is the fact that Appeal has been approved for use on USDA organic produce under the name Organappeal. The main ingredient found in the Appeal coating is mono and diglycerides, which are extracted from grapeseed oil. This is then processed with the use of two solvents, which are ethyl acetate and heptane, both of which are hazardous chemicals known to seriously damage internal organs in the case of repeated exposure. This coating cannot be washed off.
I want to be clear with you. This man's job is to kill you. I mean, he's made it his personal job to kill as many people as possible. That is his agenda. His agenda is to murder as many human beings as possible. But he's doing it in a manner in which that, quite frankly, he's giving you a choice. So he won't even be held responsible for the murder of all those people spiritually. Because you can research what you put in your body before you can buy it or just walk in the store and pick it up and bite into it. You have every ample opportunity to research what's going into your body. So he's just making it available for your destruction. The same way he just made available that boop for your destruction. And then everybody got afraid and said, oh, I need the boop or else I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die if I don't get the boop. Quite frankly, if you do your research and actually take your own life seriously, then you might be okay. So he's skirting the cosmic lines of right and wrong by just laying out options in front of you. Now, some things he ain't doing that on. Some things he ain't, like genetically modifying cows. Even though if you up on it and you understand it, you can get around it. But now this bird flu, cow flu, all the rest of that, that's being forced down your throat. But if you pay attention and you reject it, then it doesn't work. So if everybody knew about a peel, an organic peel, and everywhere that stores sold these things, that fruit sat there and nobody bought an ounce of it, that business would go out of business. It would crash and crumble. And so guess what? It's rejected and the plan falls short. Same thing with all the rest of these people's plans. The reason why their plans work is because people participate. When you don't participate in their system, it doesn't work.
Additionally, the World Health Organization's International Agency for Research on Cancer, or IARC, recognized glycidol, another name for these same ingredients, as, quote, probably carcinogenic to humans. So why are they spraying this literal poison on our food?
To kill you. To kill you, girl. You put on that makeup to make your lines look real funny. You kind of look, you shouldn't do that.
Well, ironically,
you shouldn't do that, shorty.
The appeal coating is generally recognized as safe, meaning the safety review was completed by the food and chemical industry as opposed to the FDA. Not
generally recommended as safe. What the hell is generally recommended?
That they're at all better. And while the approval process for these toxic solvents are rather unclear, one thing is for certain: appeal should be kept far, far away from our food supply. The ability of this $2 billion Bill Gates-backed startup to just quietly slip in to extend the life of food with absolutely zero proof of preserving any nutritional value should remind every American of the importance of eating organic, local, and chemical-free food.
Yep, eating out your own damn garden, not from no grocery store.
But if the evidence here is...
Girl, your secret garden. Yeah.
Isn't enough to convince you, take a look at what appeal allegedly does to the food itself.
Girl, take off some of that makeup and let me visit your secret garden, girl.
When she opens it and she breaks it in half, it gets very tough and doesn't really break. And when it pulls, it's like it's glue.
Like, it's not even breaking, like, at all. Like, it... And I know you guys can't feel the texture, Avi, right? Because it's a video. But, like, it literally feels fake.
Is it clear yet?
It's clear, girl. We all need to go to our own secret gardens and grow our own food in our own secret gardens. Yeah.
The tyrannical globalists will stop at nothing to completely railroad anyone trying to live a wholesome, healthy life.
I agree with you, girl.
They'll do anything to try and kill off the resistors who refuse to align with their dystopian, dismal future, where you'll be forced to eat bugs and own nothing and be happy.
Tell them, girl.
It's time to start growing your own food or buying food from your local farmer's market if you don't already. These megalomaniacs are on a mission to destroy all that is good in this life, and we absolutely cannot let them win. PSA.
They are definitely megalomaniacs. Yeah, that's a good picture right there, girl. Right there. You look real good right there. That needs to be the right there, girl. You look great right there. The rest of the images, you don't look as good as you look right there, girl. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what's going on around the world. Everywhere we look, this man is trying to kill us, trying to whack us, everywhere. Dang, look at Paris, bro. Man, Paris look like Zimbabwe out here in these streets. Look at this. This is what happened when you start doing that mass migration. Oh, we gonna let the immigrants into our country. And then somebody black gonna say, well, we need to help them black people. We need to let them in. They from another country. Really? Really? We just walking down the street in Paris. Baby Zimbabwe. Nah, this ain't Paris. This can't be Paris. This can't be Paris. This can't be Paris. I need to see the signs. Does anybody speak Paris? That can't be Paris. That can't be Paris. That can't be Paris. Show me a street sign. I don't believe it. That can't be the Paris that people been visiting, and it definitely can't be the Paris that I visited. That can't be. I think that is. I think that is. Ladies and gentlemen, all I can tell you is this. At some point in time, we're going to have to get to the point where we understand that life ain't fair. It ain't. Nobody promised you life was going to be fair. And you can't make life be fair. That's not how it works. It's not fair. Some people have it bad. Some people have it good. Some people are born in a great nation. Some people are born in a bad nation. There are rules and regulations to how things work. And if you come into agreement with open border policies where people can come in from any nation, then you are in full agreement with the World Economic Forum. And you are ushering in the destruction of your own bloodline, your own children, your own grandchildren. Do I want to see people from other countries that are starving do better? Absolutely. Do better where you are. Would I like to see our nation go over and help rebuild and stabilize nations and actually do it? Yes, I would love to see that. Not blow some stuff up, go back over, rebuild it, make money, blow it up again, come back over, rebuild it, and get contracts. I mean, actually go and create quote unquote sustainable living. This is what I don't get. You got all these people talking about sustainability for foreign nations. Why everybody leaving the places that y'all trying to make sustainable and coming here? That don't make no sense. What is you trying to sustain? If they all leaving and they all moving, what you trying to sustain? It don't make no damn sense. That's all the Stankonia and saying is it don't make no damn sense. I'm out of here, man.